Hey guys, it's me James with This Beautiful Crazy Life, and if you're new to the channel, what do we talk about here? Well, we talk about religion, theology, politics, and everything in between from a Christian lens. So I am a Christian YouTuber, and I like to talk about things that sort of interest me, but I like to do it through the lens of Christ. If things like that interest you, like TV show reviews or talk on politics and everything in between, from what I try to give a nuanced and well-balanced view, plus putting my own value judgment on it, like and subscribe. Today we're going to do something a little different. It's going to be my first ever reaction video. I'm going to react to the trailer for God's Not Dead 4 or 5 or 6. I actually don't know, but it's called God's Not Dead. Wait, let me check. I don't remember what it's called. God's Not Dead, We the People. I mean, look how American this thing looks. You see the Washington Monument in there? This video screams Christian America, God stuff. I don't know. Like, I realize that these films are pretty polarizing. I've never seen any of the God's Not. Now you guys get to see my terrible haircut. Hey, my gosh, if this is your guys' first time here, sorry for the technical difficulties. So I was talking about God's Not Dead, polarizing film. It sort of falls into two camps. One is just people who hate it because it's a Christian film that criticizes people who are atheists. And from what I understand, their criticism is they make the atheist character super, like, just two-dimensional villains who just, you know, don't have any real, like, personality or reason. They just hate God because something bad happened to them. One critic called it, what did he say? He said it's a Christian film made for Christians. And I honestly could not tell if that was a snub, an actual compliment. Who knows? But these films are not known as like acting masterpieces or seen sort of as Christian cash grabs with a very uninformed Christian conservative agenda. With all that being said, I've never seen these films, so we're going to react to this.
Thing. And it's never more than one generation away from extinction. And those in
back, Ronald Reagan. Without getting to my super deep political leanings, I am not a fan of Ronald Reagan. So this kind of tells you where this film is going.
Making a last-ditch stand for your faith. And you've chosen this as a hill that you're willing to die on.
Our whole faith started because one man chose a hill he was willing to die on.
Can't beat that line. You know, that's something a pastor would say. Honestly, that's something I would say in one of my sermons, if I was honest. It's cheesy enough, but has a good amount of conviction there. Take the resurrection very seriously. If you don't believe in a resurrection, how do you even be a Christian, bruh?
They're teaching kids that they don't need God.
If your children do not show up at school a week from Monday, you will be charged with contempt of court, meaning you will be incarcerated.
Holy sugar, as one of my coworkers loves to say. So it has so many buzzwords in here. Homeschooling. I know homeschool is important to a lot of conservative Christians. I'm not too familiar with homeschooling law. I don't know if this is a real thing or not. Indoctrination, you hear that a lot, especially with the whole like CRT thing. That's a big one now. This whole thing, all the scary things, you know, children being brainwashed, and the schools, you know, are just like liberal dump holes basically. So I think this movie will make a lot of money.
For 2,000 years, men have been trying to get rid of Christianity. What makes you think that you can accomplish what they couldn't?
They didn't have an 83% approval rating.
Politicians are bad, guys. Remember that. Well, or liberal politicians. I don't know if they've even assigned their political parties, but let's just be clear. God's Not Dead is very, like, just the whole thing about it screams conservatism. I think, you know, there are definitely important issues that need to be talked about. People have homeschooling concerns. People have concerns over education, really on both sides. Like I said, I just went through this whole thing on the CRT debate, you know, liberals and conservatives both thinking they're telling the truth of history, when both in reality, they're both sort of trying to revise a very complex history to try to make it into some neat political package. So don't believe the hype. Both parties are in fact trying to brainwash you. So you're being brainwashed probably by someone.
work for us. You are out of order,
Mr. Hill.
A government of the people, by the people, for the people.
Okay, so I always hate when people say this whole idea that politicians are purposely trying to divide us. I think that's such a simplistic view. We have a lot of big differences in this country, right? Tons of differences. You know, we view healthcare and the role of the military, role of the police differently. And a lot of times the politicians are just saying what their constituents want them to say, or they believe in it. It's like a weird circle here. So, you know, this is sort of nihilistic and a little bit pessimistic of a film. And this whole idea is by the people, for the people. It's like, well, which people, right? Does the Christians represent the LGBTQ community? Because conservative Christians don't think their agenda is worth supporting. And do LGBTQ members want to support religious freedom? Because they find it discriminatory. So, which people? America has a lot of people. You guys kind of know where this movie's going to go. This is going to be pretty predictable. It's definitely going to have a certain message. It leans a certain way politically and theologically. There's not going to be any nuance in this film. It's like these guys are bad and these guys are good. Politics is way more complicated than that. There's tons of corruption in both parties. And who they represent, a complex nuance of constituents and religious ideas and non-religious ideas and history and culture and so many other things, right? Are these people for homeschooling if liberals want to homeschool their kids to teach them CRT? And would they be fine with taxpayer money doing that? Probably not. So you see what I mean? So anyway, guys, I just wanted to take a look at it. It wasn't cringy per se. It's more just sort of a look into sort of where I think like Christian conservatism is at the moment. So anyway, if you like this, if you thought this was interesting, comment, let me know what you think of this trailer. If you've watched it, did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? Yep, totally stole that from Anthony Fontana, the music guy. Anyway, guys, I'll see you all later.